we are thrilled to be welcoming Grace and Alex Fincher to the show. They are from the band River and Rail. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, we are stoked. We got to see you guys live, which was amazing
Yes, absolutely.
here in Omaha, in our little hometown. And now we know you guys are all over the world traveling.
Oh, not yet the world. Hopefully
Yeah.
soon.
Mostly
The country.
The
Midwest,
country.
There we go.
The country, and then soon the world.
That's right. That's right.
Tell us where you're coming to us from tonight.
yeah, so we live outside Nashville, Tennessee, out west a little ways, near Kingston Springs.
Excellent.
Yeah, out in the country, not
Are you
sinful.
natives to Tennessee, or did you grow up elsewhere?
No, we're both from Missouri. Grace lived in Tennessee a little bit when she was younger, but we pretty much call Missouri our native
Yeah, we
land.
really feel like Midwesterners.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
you're home from the home of our
Oh, yeah.
beautiful chief.
You're a huge Duke fan.
Yes, the kingdom, as we like to call it, right? Right. I want to pick your brain about the brand new album, full length album debut that's coming out in September. And we noticed that you can already get CDs. Tell us about how it all came together.
I'm sure
Oh
can.
man, where to start? So these songs, it's a compilation of songs that we've been working on for a few years now, because we did an EP that was kind of thematic. It was a familial EP a few years ago, and we put pause on a couple of the songs that we were excited about that didn't quite fit on that. So this album has some of those songs that I guess you wrote in back in 2022.
Yeah, the title of the album is Lovers, Enemies, Always Friends, which is a lyric from one of the songs, but we've really packaged it as a glimpse into the first 2 years of us as a marriage, because before we're a band, we are married to each other, not siblings.
Get that
I
straight.
always like to throw out that caveat.
I feel like we look more like siblings as the years go by.
Yeah,
It happens to everyone that gets married.
Yep.
That happens to everyone that gets married. Anyway, go on.
the album is full of songs that are ranging from love songs and newlywed songs and love songs that are a little bit deeper into marriage songs, and then some hard, ugly bits too, as is I think probably standard of every young marriage.
Yeah.
I think it's a really honest look at us. It's my favorite part about it. It really holds that identity of me and Alex. Alex is very steady. I can be a little feisty, a little angry sometimes. It shows. Yeah.
Happens to the best of us, right?
So obviously, you've just said that you are married first and band second, but how did you become a band? How did you get started with this whole music gig?
Yeah, so we were in Missouri, and we were both going to the same music like mentor guru guy.
He lived in a creepy cabin in the woods, so he's this really elusive figure every time we tell this
He's
story.
legendary. And he was teaching us both music individually, and he had this amazing way of putting together his students at these showcase nights. So we were actually doing soul like R&B music, which like we don't talk about because it's embarrassing because we were not. You were great at it. I should have been nowhere near that music at all. So he had put us together for one of those shows,
Yeah.
and
I had
you
an
happened to.
upcoming gig at a blues festival, and I did not really feel like accompanying myself, and heard Alex playing the guitar and thought I could use that. That would be very helpful. And so I hired him. He got up and played just a crappy set of cover songs for this big festival, but it got us free tickets into it. The headliner that night was Jason Isbell. So we ended up spending the whole afternoon and evening getting to know each other, hanging out.
Listening to bluegrass, Jason
Yeah.
Isbell, yeah.
And that was kind of the night that started it all. I remember Alex was on stage next to me playing guitar. I get off the stage after our set. My dad is very intently, lovingly watching from the back, like a good supportive dad. And he kind of pulls me aside and he takes his credit card out of his pocket and he said, "You buy that boy a sandwich." Yeah,
Oh,
and
That's
we fell in love and started making music together, and writing songs about each other, then with each other. He hired me to do background vocals sometimes, and he wrote all of the songs really at
Yeah,
first.
early on.
But we moved to Nashville and kind of swapped roles there.
Yeah.
Exciting, huh? And what a
So
cute.
cute. Yes.
So before all of that, how did you individually get started in music? Like what led you to it individually?
I think we both are similar in this way that we would sing and play at church growing up. Our parents were very musical on both sides. On my side, however, I just stumbled across the Beatles at like age 12, and I was absolutely obsessed with them and like watching YouTube videos of performances and like learning all their songs on the ukulele and everything. And that gave birth to me wanting to be a performer and a musician and a guitar player. And so I had this dream from that age. Like I started bands in elementary school and middle school and high school, and just tried to scrape out any music that could be had in my little town. There wasn't much. So yeah, I just always had that drive. And then when I discovered Jason Isbell and Chris Stapleton, and those type of like Drew Holcomb, those singer-songwriter, and then later like Watch House, the folk acts, and Fleet Foxes as well. I started to kind of go in that direction and want to write and play that type of music. And then, I mean, what about you? I think it's sort of similar.
Similar and completely dissimilar. I think you always looked at your prospects in music as something, oh, this is going to happen for me.
Yeah.
In one way or another, I am going to be doing music. And your family was completely supportive, and obviously you have a natural bent toward music, so it just made sense. I, however, was born to a loving, wonderful, very traditionally
Pragmatic.
Midwestern, pragmatic German family. So,
Us too.
Yeah.
Yep.
and so they were always supportive for me, singing at church, picking up the guitar, playing little side stages. But when it came to what are you going to do with your life, like I was
Understandably
doing
so.
school, I was planning to go to college and do like a normal job,
Marketing or something.
marketing, whatever. So I never really pursued bands or anything like that. I signed up for the occasional talent show. I played guitar. I learned really young. I plateaued in third grade up until I met Alex, and he kind of forced me to learn some new things.
But you found open things as well, and that really
I
took you to
do
the next
remember
level.
my sophomore year of high school, I learned how to play Naked as We Came by Iron and Wine, and it taught me that classic like alternating picking pattern
Finger picking
and drop
yeah.
D. And maybe that was more formative of a moment than I thought it was at the
Yeah,
time.
it's influenced a lot, for sure.
Yeah, I lean pretty heavily on that picking pattern. So, but it wasn't really until I met Alex that I thought music could be something for me. And I think my family noticed that too. It's part of that dad handing me the credit card thing. I think there was a little bit of worry in everybody's mind thinking,
Oh, they might actually
they
try this.
might actually try and do it.
Well,
Oh,
I
that's
remember
really
early on in our relationship, like we were just, talking about our dreams and our goals and whatever, and we were sitting there in the car,
Oh.
and I was like, you know what? I've always felt like I have to be touring and doing music one day. Like I have to. And you were basically like to the means of like, well, I'm not gonna let you do that by yourself. Like I'm coming along too.
I'm not staying.
And it was at that moment that River and Row was born, because I was like, well, then I guess we better start a band. I guess that's the way to go. Back since.
Yeah.
the rest is history.
Oh,
I
that's fabulous.
love that.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to pick your brain a little bit about songwriting. How do you see a song from start to finish? What kind of things do you start with? Do you start with lyrics? Do you start with melody? Do you collaborate together all the time? Do you bring other people in? How does that go?
We're pretty different songwriters. Alex,
No. Oh, really?
you share your process.
I'm not
I'll
really
share
like
my
the main
process.
songwriter. I don't write that actively. I'm more of the producer and arranger of the songs that she writes, and kind of like translating them to other instruments and whatnot. But when I do write, I think usually I'm sitting at the guitar and a riff, or some type of melody will just kind of like appear to me as I'm just kind of sitting and jamming, or maybe I was inspired by like learning some bluegrass or folk song or something like that, and then my voice just sort of follows that, I think, and follows my hands. But yeah, I'm not the main songwriter, so I would love to hear all that you have to say about this.
I think it's my way will not be your way
Right.
ever, nor will it be everybody's way at all. I very much take the approach of when I've got a song in me, I have a song in me. When I don't, I don't. I had a mentor describe it to me, and this is a little crude, but he said songwriting's like vomiting. You're either going to get it out or hurt yourself keeping it in. Forcing it out's not really gonna feel too good either.
So
So
I'll witness her. She's the type that like when inspiration hits, like it's like she said, she has to get it out. So I'll see her taking notes like in the middle of whatever, wherever we are. You're making sure to jot it down or getting a voice memo of whatever's in your head. And then like as soon as possible, she's like, we get home, shut the door. She's like off in the room, door closed. Just have to get this idea out. And then once it's out, you're like, come check this out. But until you can just like totally get it out, you're so locked into making sure it is removed from you.
yeah, my songs are largely feeling based, and I don't mean that in like a, oh, when you hear the song it makes you sad, it makes you happy. It's more when I'm sitting down with my guitar and I'm plucking out whatever I pluck out, which I'm not a great guitar player. I just place my hands at a random point on the neck and hope it works out for me. And then I have one heck of a time charting
You
it
sell yourself so
in
short.
post. But when I sit down in my little writing chair, I am picturing a moment in my head and a feeling, and I am not satisfied until I feel like the depth of that feeling has been captured
Wow.
in some way. In all its complexities and nuances, like that is the songwriting moments, or those are the songwriting moments that I really savor, is when I feel like I've captured something complex in music. Because that's kind of what it's for me. I can talk about how I feel, and you can maybe sort of get it. But if I can play you a moment that I felt, like that's the kind of moment I live for with an audience. I never really start with lyric or guitar part. It just kind of
Whatever
happens.
happens.
Yeah, it just
Vomits
happens.
out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that. That's my favorite image now.
Nice.
Like, because you just take it as it comes to you, that you don't like worry about writer's block or getting stuck or any of that. So what would you say is the hardest part about being a musician then? Because for us, it's the writer's block,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I would say there have been points, like we do collaborate a bit. Like you'll show me something and see if I have any ideas for maybe getting you unstuck from like a chord progression or
Yeah.
sometimes lyrics. I'll sometimes
Yeah.
give you
Usually
some
the only block in
lyrics.
my way is I can't think of anything else to say about this. What do I add to this?
And I'm usually like, then it's good, like it's done. Let's write a little interlude and it's done. But sometimes you do have to take some time, I feel like a week or
Yeah.
two to
I'm very much a songwriter though. If I write
Mhm.
to a point and I'm not liking it, garbage.
no one
I
will.
was going to ask, is it okay to abandon a song? I always ask that. So good to know.
Good to know.
I think yes. Other people are like, no, never. Keep every voice memo.
Sometimes you just need that first verse that you sat down and wrote, like for your own processing of something, you know.
Man. And the best thing about it is, I feel like there are certain moments where it happens to you and you're like, well, that's going to be a song one day.
Yeah.
That's going in tune. And I'm thinking of Euodia specifically is a track on the album. Extremely pivotal moment in our lives of hardship and struggle that I probably wrote 20 different bad verses of.
Mhm.
And then when it came, it felt like I wasn't sick anymore, you know?
Nice.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, to me, it seems almost like if you were going to have a kid, and the kid is now born.
Yeah.
You're like, here it is.
Yeah. No, I like to refer to those things like those bad verses as your on ramp. Like there's something that's getting you there and you have to say it, but you're not necessarily going to keep it as a
Yeah.
song.
Say it
So,
that way. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well, we know the album is coming out. What is next? Is it touring? What all is happening there? What's your next big thing?
So we are about to announce an album release show in Nashville and then a subsequent tour in October. Nothing crazy, but a couple house shows and venue shows. Right now, we're definitely going to be in Columbus, Ohio, and in Connecticut, Rochester, New York. So like some East Coast area. But we should have some more dates later on in the year. We'd love to come back through the Midwest, through Missouri, and hopefully Omaha and Topeka are on the list, and Minneapolis. Some of those places that we played opening for the Arcadian Wild over the last few years. We'd love to meet up with people again. But I mean, that's most of what it is, promoting the new songs.
Yeah, we're always writing and creating, but logistically, like the hope and prayer is that we get to hop on another supporting show. That's I feel like we're in such a fun stage of musicianship where we're kind of just throwing ourselves in front of people's audiences.
Yeah.
And if you like us, you can take us home, and if not, that's fine. The main act is coming.
Yeah.
It's a
We
privilege.
loved you.
Yeah, we loved you.
Yes, absolutely.
So for people who have not had the pleasure of hearing you, how would you describe your sound? What type of, like, I hate to say pigeonhole, but what genre would you put yourself into if you had to?
That's a good question.
It's really the hardest question.
I mean, I think a lot of people would say indie folk, which I think is accurate, but we definitely try to have some more elements of bluegrass and like almost 70s acoustic, like Bread.
Mhm.
I think on the album it's a good mix. There's even some folk rock elements on the album, like our latest single "Don't Find Me." It's very drum and electric bass heavy, but then there's others that are very fiddle and upright bass.
Yeah, I
Old
feel like
timey.
folk is such a broad
is,
category
yeah.
these days. Pop music can be called folk, or country music can be called folk. There's all these different spins. I think at the heart of it, we're purely folk music.
Yeah.
Like folk music as it was intended, of like sitting on a porch and telling a story.
Yeah.
That is the kind of folk music that I want to inhibit.
Especially live, I would say.
Yeah, that's kind of like Americana. It's all encompassing of so many different things. So people can just say, yep, we're Americana.
Yeah.
Even though it might lean towards one thing or another. So, but yeah.
I'm gonna sidetrack that. What instruments do you both play? What all do you play?
Mine's a short list. Guitar.
Guitar. Okay.
That's it.
I mainly play acoustic, but mandolin, banjo, and then I can play some keys and bass and stuff as well.
And drums, and he's picking up the pedal steel, and he's great piano.
I don't feel fluent in all of those, but I can make my way through it in the studio.
But if I could play to the level that he played of any of his worst instruments, I would shout proudly from the rooftops.
Well, it gives me hope because we are learning guitar. And I can't even tell you, it's just so hard. It's so hard.
It's fun, but
It's fun. But yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to get in a rut on guitar, I think. But that's like, for me, that's when I want to pick up another instrument, and then that'll inspire my guitar playing in different ways.
So getting ready to promote this album and going out on the road and everything, we always like to ask people, because we think this is a huge thing for musicians and creatives in general, but what do you do to keep mentally and physically well while you're out touring?
Love that question.
Love that question.
We're by no means pros because we've only been on 2 real tours. But I mean, we're both runners. Grace more so than I, but we're both runners.
And it's a great sport to take on the road, because even if you don't have, a court, you've got a parking lot, you've got.
That's right.
There's always trails, almost always. And especially in cities that you never, you don't know that there are trails.
Great way to explore a city.
Like in Cleveland, we didn't know what are we going to do in Cleveland to be active, and there's like a beautiful long trail in Cleveland, the Emerald Necklace. So that's like one of our favorite things to do on tour. It really, I think it helps me to keep track of each day. Like, we remember this run that we went on, and then it helps to remember the show and the whole experience.
Yeah.
And it helps mentally too, as well.
Oh yeah.
I would say, I'm not always great about this, but when we're on a run together, I try to not just talk about music the entire time or the show or whatever. Like, really let it be a time to be in nature and be meditating and to be quiet or to talk about other things.
Yeah, we're yappers. We do a lot of yapping.
On run.
Makes the
together.
run go fast. So I'm a runner too, and I have my group of friends that we run together. And by the time you get around the lake, you're like, "Whoa, that was fast."
But sometimes we have to do them alone because it's like, okay, we haven't been alone in 5 days. Let's take this time and like you're running ahead
Yeah.
and I'm running or whatever.
We're
Like,
running
Going in opposite directions.
but for me, that's important. Definitely alone time. I have to force myself
Yeah.
to take on the road.
Yeah, I love to read.
Yeah.
Anytime I can sit outside. Also, coffees. Like
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
allow yourself very many luxuries on the road because it can
Try
be
to save
dingy.
money.
But we do allow ourselves to stop at the cutest coffee shop we can find, and that is a mental boost
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
even if the show that night is in an armpit of a venue, at least I get to stop at wherever city's best coffee shop.
It makes the
The
armpit.
Omaha one was really good.
Where did you go?
It was like a library on one wall.
The Mill.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Mill. Yes, I love that
Very
place.
good.
Eating is
Yes.
also very important to us on the road. We ate at a Tom Cobb place in Omaha, right? That was in Omaha.
That wasn't Tom Ka. I think it was sushi.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Wait.
Yes, I remember you guys talked about it at the show.
Yes, it was ramen, and it was
Alex
just
talks about it.
it was just
monthly.
insane. I've never left a Yelp review for anything in my life, and I had to after eating that.
Yeah, it's little things like that, like comfortable little
Yeah.
like at-home luxuries. I'm gonna have a coffee. I'm gonna have a meal that has actual silverware and not plastic.
And
Yeah.
like you're a part of the community for that day more than just showing up to venue and saying hello Cincinnati and then playing the show and leaving. Like I want to feel like I was actually a part of the community.
Yeah, because in places like Cleveland, as a Midwesterner, you spend your whole life making fun of Ohio. So
Sorry,
you don't
Ohioans.
really
Yeah.
want to get up on the stage and be like, "We hate you, Ohio." So to get out and say, "Oh, we visited Cuyahoga, we went to the Emerald Necklace," like to go and love a little bit of what the audience loves is the
Yes.
first connector piece you can jump off
That's
of.
really cool.
That
You-
is
I
cool.
love that about,
too.
you get to travel and you guys actually take advantage of the travel. You don't just hop from one city to the other. That's fantastic because you,
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned coffee. That's one of my favorite things to do when we're traveling too, is to take home a little bit of like whatever a local roaster has. I'm like, oh, and then I can remember this place from this coffee. So
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I like it. Should we do our big four?
We should do our big four.
All right. So we ask everyone that comes on the show these same 4 questions. And the first one is, what was your first gig? And we'll say your first gig together. You kind of talked about it. And then your favorite gig
So far.
Yes. Maybe your first gig as River and Rail. How about that?
Oh, well,
better
we
question.
played at Roots and Blues Music Festival. That was when she hired me, but that was pre-River and Rail
Yeah.
era. I don't know.
Okay.
Our first River and Rail gig probably would have been
Fourth
at
Street
the
Theater.
4th Street Theater in my super small town, Moberly, Missouri. It's this gorgeous little remodeled theater there.
Really gorgeous venue, and it was full of family and
Yeah, just
friends
family.
and terrible R&B covers.
Yeah. Maybe one original song. I think there was one original and everything else was covers,
Yeah.
which is hilarious.
Yeah. Our favorite gig, I'm going to say this, maybe you disagree, and I'd love to hear yours, but we played the Jefferson Theater in Charlottesville, Virginia, last summer. It was like day 6 or 7 into our very first big tour with the Arcadian Wild, whom we just love. They're so generous and wonderful. But it was our anniversary. We were terrified to get on stage because the theater was so massive and ornate, and there were lots of people there. And I remember the imposter syndrome set on so heavy before we went on the
Yeah.
stage. And we played it, and it was just
It's such
the
a great
most
time.
magical night of music, I think. Would that be yours?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time. There's been so many sweet ones. That was definitely a really sweet and satisfying one, and like we just felt so in over our heads going into it, and then to have the really kind response from the crowd and at the merch booth afterward was like from strangers. That was our second show of our first real tour, and it just felt like such a like, okay, maybe like we're on the right track, right? People are responding to this. But
Columbus, maybe?
Yeah, I was gonna say this last time at Columbus, it was near the end of this tour, and we didn't know what it was gonna be, even though we had played in Columbus the year before. Um, but we hadn't realized that we had so many fans in Columbus. We were opening again for the Arcadian Wild, and people were like singing the lyrics to our
Yeah.
songs.
That was, I think, one of the first times I'd heard multiple voices singing my lyrics.
Yeah, we were like just so shocked. And people came up to us afterward and were like, "We're the top 1% of listeners for this song and this song." We were like, we had no idea. Like, there's a community of people here that care about us so far from home. So that was a really sweet day for me too.
Yeah, very
That's
special.
How cool. And good job, Ohio.
Yes.
You did something right.
Okay, question number 2 of the big 4 is who would you consider your influences?
Watch House / Mandolin Orange is definitely in the top tier of that. They just like as a couple and the style of music that they make, they were very influential for us and getting me into mandolin as well.
Yeah, I think our big 3 are Watch House, Milk Carton Kids, and Fleet Foxes.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Those are,
Even though none of those
Yeah.
are female led, so that's kind of interesting.
and mine,
You
I've
should
never
check out.
listened to music as much.
You should check out Bowen Young. They are also a couple, and it's Claire Bowen and Brandon Robert Young. Both of them she's from Australia, he's from
New England.
New England area, but they live in Nashville, and they're amazing.
Yeah.
So
We'll check
kind
it
of
out.
remind me of you guys a little.
Who are your influences for like vocals / songwriting?
Ooh, vocals, I don't know. I have a very nice, well-rounded collection of music. I learned from people like Yeba and Leanne LaHavis, which is why we had this R&B band.
Yeah.
Because I put all of those tools in my toolbox of vocal flexibility and control before I kind of realized I really only want to use those to the extent that they help me with my storytelling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I still love Yeba and Leanne LaHavis and, Ella Fitzgerald and classic, like soulful vocal. I just love it. Songwriting wise, I think bread and folk music from the 70s. I love it. I love Gordon Lightfoot.
Mm.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
great.
really know. I try not to base it off of anybody.
That's what we grew up on too, like
Yeah.
Joan Baez and Judy Collins.
Yeah.
So
I hear ya.
Obviously,
Yeah.
there's a whole song about her on the album. Frankly, I don't love her voice so much, but the songwriting is undeniable.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Yep. That's great. Okay. Who or what are you listening to on repeat, if anything, right now?
What a great. We love Leaf Fullback.
Mm,
Leaf Fullback. He's always on the rotation.
yes.
I've been very into the weather station, and this I'm not trying to sound like a hipster, but there's this artist named Mecca that we just stumbled across that just put out a gorgeous record called The Rabbit, I think. It's very good. Very Joni Mitchell-esque. I would definitely check it out.
Write it down.
How about you?
Oh, so good.
The new I'm With Her
Yeah,
album.
the I'm With Her album, I was gonna say.
Yay.
Aoife, she's
Aoife O'Donovan.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, she's a huge influence
she's a
too.
staple at our house. Also, I'm gonna really butcher this last name, Julian Lage.
Julian Lage. He's a guitarist.
Really like ornate guitarist, which I'm not usually the kind of girl to put on an ornate guitar kind of album, but he had a song called Missouri, and I was like, oh, I love Missouri. I'll listen to that song, and then I just fell in love.
Awesome. We always like to learn about what other
yeah.
people are listening to. So, okay, what advice would you give to new songwriters and or musicians?
I feel like when you first enter the world of like professional music, the temptation is to just get yourself in the room with as many like big names as you possibly can, and you spend a lot of energy trying to, level up and make sure that you have networked to the level where, oh, I know them, I can go hang out with him. But in our experience, the most fruitful relationships, logistically and personally, have been just coming alongside our peers and friends and sharing music with them. And what's it? A rising tide lifts all ships.
Right.
Like you come up with the people you're next to, you support them, they support us. It means something deeper than just I can use something from this person. And you know that they feel the same way about you. And I am sad that I ever spent even a fragment of my energy on trying to be in a big room with a big name.
Yeah. I love you.
beautiful,
That is,
guys.
yeah, that's fantastic. Because you never know who's going to be the one that makes it. But
Yeah.
if you are out there doing what you love, you've already made it.
Yep.
I love that too. Love it, love it. Okay.
What about you, Alex?
My advice would be, if you have something to say, then say it. By all means, get it out, and your perspective is so important, and someone else is going to connect with it, even if you think your songs or your story are like so niche. And if you don't have something to say, which is the category that I find myself in a lot, figure out how to amplify the voices of the people around you that do. That's very important to me, because everybody needs a helping hand, whether that's a guitarist or a sound guy or somebody selling merch or anything, or a bass player, like all those things. Like, you're helping to amplify a song and a story, and that's very important too.
Very, very good advice. Very cool.
Okay, it's time for your shameless plug. Where can we find your music, your website, your social medias, all that stuff, and the album?
And
Where can we-
Patreon group.
Yes,
What's the one
Patreon,
called? I
Bandcamp.
said Groupon. Like,
No.
what does that mean to me?
We don't offer
Listen had a
Groupons.
Groupon thing.
Sorry. If you need a discount, though, reach out to us. Our website's riverandrailmusic.com, and all of our socials are Riverandrailmusic. We do have a Patreon where we have some exclusive song stories and blogs. We have one about Steam Engine that we just put out, and exclusive audio as well, early releases. Patreon. We do have Bandcamp. We love Bandcamp so much, and YouTube, TikTok, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Our email list, to be honest, if you want to stay connected, the best way is the email list.
Yeah.
Because when we're in your area, we can let you know, and we're not at the mercy of the algorithm of any
Yeah.
website.
Social media is a blessing to connect with people we can't go play for yet, but our very favorite venue to connect with our audience is live and in person.
Yes, we'd love to see you out on the road or at a house show. We do a lot of house shows.
Fun. We just actually went to a house show not very long ago with Gold Pine, and they were also on our show, and they're amazing, and they're also a husband and wife.
Yes. There you go.
Oh my goodness.
It is so fun.
Such a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes.
Having us. This has been so sweet. You
So
guys are
fun.
great.